that has been rusted now.
Oh, look at it.
Oh, very rusty.
So first point, of course, so I've rusted it in my sink over the weekend. Got some funny looks from the family. Dad, there's a club in the sink. Hello. And now with it rusted, so as you can see, it's the middle rusted. Everyone saw the other. Here's my original review. Is in the left side. Is up here. It's up here. Go and check out the original review of my thoughts on this club. It's a gorgeous shape. This is a review that you've all asked for in the comments. If it's rusted, will it change the spin values? So in another card up there, do you think rusted will make it spin more or not? I'm going to hit the 85. What distance did I hit the first? It says driver 1 at the bottom of that sheet.
Driver 1.
Got Steve Buzzer in the house, over from America. Hello, Steve.
Hello. 81.
So I averaged 80. I was trying to hit it 81 to 85 yards.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit the same indoors. We've got unrusted and rusted numbers. Dan's come to watch this as well.
I want to see the rust.
Yeah. Right, one more with the rusted Taylormade. 81. Now that looks like it's spinning slightly higher. Let's have a look. Right, I've averaged 80 yards with the rusty version, where when I hit the original version, I averaged 81, as close as I can get it. I had a launch angle of 29, and it's now 28.3, so 0.7. Almost the same. 70 mile an hour, ball speed to 71 with the unrusted. So it's close. Like, what you're going to find with this is you're probably testing me more than you're testing the club. Now, the original unrusted version of the milled grind 2 Taylormade wedge, I spun it at 9.360. And then rusted, I'm spinning it at 9.899, so 9.9, basically getting 2 of them up into 10,000s. So absolutely rusted, that is spinning more. Now, just for argument's sake, and you're going to see these videos in the future, I also hit on the same day of the original unrested Taylormade test, so with it straight out the wrapper, I also hit a Callaway Jaws and I also hit a Vokey. And the Callaway Jaws spun at 9.4 and then the Vokey spun at 9.5 in comparison to the unrusted club spinning at 9.3, so the Taylormade was the lowest. But again, I would call them all the same because the tolerance is a human being. So I just want to do one last thing to finish, because we're testing these over 2 different days, and I'm just going to hit another 56 from a different club, without rust or anything, just to compare today's numbers against fresh today's numbers. So it's a 6 months old Vokey I've tried there. Mine's in the car, it's a bit wet outside. So it's probably a bit fresher grooves than mine, possibly, but it has been hit. Just to compare today to, day to day. So ball speeds on the Vokey and the rusty were both at 70 miles an hour, within points of each other. Vokey was 79 yards, where the rusty was 80 yards average carry, so very similar. The rusty, obviously, we know was 9,899, so let's call that 9,900. And the Vokey was 9,873. So we're talking like in the 20 revs. Maybe you tell me in the comments what you think. So it spun more than when it was non-rusty, but my Vokey today is spinning 500 revs or 300 to 400 revs more than it spun on the day I tested it originally. That's pretty interesting. Steve's the old statistician back there. Yeah. I mean, what am I testing there, the club or me? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. It's the variable of an oblique strike is going to constantly play its part when a human tests the wedge, which makes these tests not pointless, because I think actually the point is to show how pointless they are. Do you see what I mean? The point is...
But it looks nice.
But there you go.
Look at it.
I think what this does, and I agree, like the word sandpaper has been used when I was talking to all you three about what do you think that will do, and the word sandpaper was used. Yeah, it looks like sandpaper, and the idea of sandpaper being rough and taking skin off and that kind of thing, and that might reflect to the ball. I'm not sure that's doing anything. If anything, so I heard on my Twitter feed we had Volschel, Chris Volschel, for the Mizuno guy in charge of development of clubs, I think, there at Mizuno, and he was saying that the rust does nothing. All it does, it allows them not to plate the club. If you don't plate the club, you can keep the edges sharper, because as soon as you put plating on, it smooths off the face to the grooves, like corners of the grooves get smooth. You can imagine you're putting like a sheet over your bed almost. Yeah. But then someone very quickly who saw that tweet went on my phone, because I get a lot of people from behind the curtain popping their head out every now and then going, actually that's not true. But what they said is that even though that is true, certain manufacturers cut grooves deeper and sharper, knowing that when you put the sheet on, it'll take it back to where tolerance is. And from all the internal popping heads out and saying ours is better and ours is better, I still see them all as the same. I'm not saying one is better than the other. This isn't saying that the Vokey's doing great, it's as good or better than this. It's not. They both performed pretty good. The most noticeable thing is testing the same club over 2 days, saw a jump in spin, but it did in a Vokey as much as it did in the Rusty Taylormade. So you choose what you want. The biggest thing for me from the Rusty is I actually prefer the look to the original review, because it gets rid of all the little pits that you see and it looks cooler. Still a good looking wedge. You test it, let me know if you find any noticeable difference in spin. If you want it tested from different distances and grass, those kind of things, few people call for that. I think you're just going to see drop-offs, but along a par of what it should do for the conditions, basically. But in that comment section down below, let me know, are you going to rust your wedge or not?